Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Are we going to celebrate?
No, absolutely not. Not at this age.
This age, looking like this, you're celebrating daily. Can you imagine her waking up, looking at her face? I would do those little confetti things. Brush my teeth, confetti, pop.
Okay, Brandy's the one that keeps us all together.
I mean, I am, but since Ben's your bestie, I feel like you need to introduce him to the stoner.
That's all I know, though. Okay, because
What do you mean?
Okay, so we back.
Hey, stoners.
And I have one of my besties on. Ben, you are just like, the second we met, we just honestly, we really did, right?
Yeah, 100%.
We just like, we're vibing and are like, he has been just one of my best friends.
How long have you guys known each other? When did you meet?
Right, like 4 or 5 years?
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh, and I think I've never told
Are you high or no?
No.
I didn't think so.
Do you want me to be?
It's up to you.
Are there offerings?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Let's take a break and let me smoke and do that
Oh,
too.
boy. We
Yeah,
just started.
Then it can just do a little thing where it goes like 5, 4, you know.
Okay, great.
So, okay, we're back. We're on a much better mood.
Well, we will be in a little bit.
I'm feeling great.
Okay, what sign are you?
Virgo. I'm like triple Virgo or double Virgo.
I'm
wow.
a Taurus, so we're...
My mom's Taurus. Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Thank you.
Are we going to celebrate?
No, absolutely not. Not at this age. Not till you give me
This
a little...
age, looking like this, you're celebrating daily. Can you imagine her waking up, looking at her face? I would do those little confetti things every day. Pop.
No, I know.
In the morning.
Here's the crazy thing.
Brush my teeth, confetti.
She
pop.
doesn't see this.
Not at all.
And you must know this about her if you've known her for 5 years. Like, she's delusional.
Oh, no.
She has no idea. But like, okay.
This is solid.
Let's talk about this
I
because
love you, Ben.
Mother, have you ever
The psychiatrist is here.
met someone else her age that looks like this?
No, this is like up there.
That hasn't, and she hasn't done anything.
I can verify this.
Okay, because I was going to say, just because the absolute, and I'm not just saying this because he's my friend, best surgeon, he is incredible. And when I do have things done, I will not let anyone ever touch my face with this man.
She does say this.
Ever.
I always think the same thing. I'm like, and this is not like an arrogance thing. It is more just like, I know the world.
Yeah.
And I look at people, friends of mine, and I think, I'm like, if you ever do go to anybody else for your face, like, you just don't get it. You're a moron.
Totally.
And I have a few friends who I'll look at them on TV. They're on TV or something, and I'm watching the show, and my mom's like, "Isn't that your friend?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, she got a facelift." Fuck, idiot. Like, 'cause
seriously,
it never looks as good as what I do.
It just doesn't.
I mean,
No.
I think in your field, arrogance is a positive thing.
Absolutely.
It's just observation. It's not even arrogance.
If I was getting something done, I would want to go to somebody that's that cocky,
that
confident. Like, I want that in a surgeon.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
No, what my favorite is, so I was always in the world of surgeons. I was the baby. I was always the younger one in the big boys' room, always from day one. And they used to torture me for it. They would be like, "Oh, this little child, this little that." People would walk out of the room because I give more lectures than anyone. And I'd be teaching. You'd see these old grumpy ass guys stand up, leave the room shaking their heads because I had made a claim that was like very true. Now it's the opposite. Now I give a lecture. They come sit there.
Absolutely.
I make them raise their hands. Who does this? They raise their hands. Same guys. They raise their hands. And I go, "You're all fucking idiots." And I was an idiot too. So we can be idiots together. But you're making the biggest mistake ever. Look at my results now, what I'm doing. Realize you're doing it wrong. Stop doing it. And they're all like, now they're like this. Now they're on the train because everyone's kind of accepted now. It can't be hidden who's better. And then where I am currently is a funny place because like, I don't like taking praise, but I'm in the place where they revere me. And it's kind of funny because I'm very like, don't say thank you. You know, it's weird. But when we walk around, this whole conversation is no longer like, "Oh, what does this guy do? What does that guy do?" It's, "Dude, just listen to Ben. He's the best." And they keep saying "in the world." And they keep saying it over and over. And I'm like, can anyone say best in the world? But either way, it's become kind of like a fun journey to analyze everybody's things and mine and see who's
Because
better.
the way you started doing the facelift, didn't it create something where you have like less downtime, less swelling, less everything that's bad?
Yeah, it went both ways, funny enough. So I invented a new lip lift.
Okay.
I evolved and changed the facelift. I didn't create it.
Right.
But the lip lift, I really changed it big time. And with these things, when you're at the forefront, when you're the first person doing something, you can either wait for everybody else to catch up and, oh, are we doing it right? Hey, you good? You're doing it right? Is this good? Or you just fucking go, and then you figure it out yourself and keep doing more and more and more fast. Not 1 a day, 2 a day, 3 a day, 4 a day of these things to figure out what's perfect with it. And then you realize, shit, I went too far.
I was gonna say, like, your first few of these, how terrifying is that to like think you might fuck somebody up?
It's
or
not like that. It's an evolution. So you're not adding something you've never fully done. You're doing something you understand and you've never done. So you're like over here and you want to bring the neck up higher and you're like, holy shit, I could just do this. Is there any downside? No. Upside? Yep. And you do it. And then later you see, downside, they have a little longer like healing time. So this is where I went. I just kept progressing until the point where I couldn't get it any better. And I saw, wait, healing time's long. Let me back up, see if I can get it with the same improvement, less healing time. So now I got to this point where my facelifts, rapid healing, except for if I'm doing everything. But my lip lifts, rapid healing. Because because I regressed. So I kept pushing it. And no one's there to help me or guide me because nobody understands where I am yet.
Yeah.
Even now I'm teaching and nobody understands it. So they're still living here.
Yep.
And I'm doing these other things. They're thinking about like first grade stuff, like legitimately. And I'm in like not even postgraduate. Like I'm just past it, writing details on what I did today. And it's difficult communicating now.
I bet.
Because I try to show them something and all they're like is, well, what stitch do you use? I'm like, dude, I just showed you gold. And you're asking me what stitch I used? You're not seeing it. You're not getting it.
But I feel like some people don't want to see it and get it, right? Like, I feel like
they're in their comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly. I could see a world where as a doctor, like you go to so much school and then you get to a point where like you're doing it. And it's like, well, if what I'm doing is working and people are coming to me like, why would I learn a different way? And I feel like some people get stuck in that, like, well, this way works. Like, why would I change it?
That's how they all are. This is how life is. This is how life is with everything.
But then you don't evolve. Then you're just stagnant.
Don't evolve because you don't see, you don't have insight. And this is how some of my family members are. They'll, they're very intelligent, very capable, very hardworking, but they don't have the insight. They can't step back and see the world. Like my whole life is just staring at people and things. That's how I learn and how I move and I see patterns and how I start to correct myself where I'm like, I did something wrong. I'm always looking around. My family's not like that. Like they're very hardworking, super intelligent, but they don't have the eye for what's next, what's better, what's different. They live in, this is the course you go. I learned that this is what you do. Who'd you learn from? Average people. And when you learn from average people, you end up average.
See, people, this is how Molly thinks.
Totally.
This is exactly Molly's brain.
Yeah, you can't do what everyone else is doing because it led them to be where they are.
Right.
And are they happy? No. So why do you keep doing the same thing that makes you unhappy? I'd have to have this conversation with my dad a million times. I go, Dad, my dad was a child prodigy. He was a real genius. Okay. The worst waste of genius in this world is my dad. Waste. Completely wasted. Einstein level genius with application of a moron. Like he doesn't.
Was he also in the medical field?
He was in medical and pharmaceutical stuff.
Okay.
And I told him, I go, Dad, you're a genius. I go, but there's geniuses in this world that are like Einstein and they contribute to the world and they give everything and they make the world better. Then there's geniuses like you that are like a black hole on humanity and everyone around you. And you just suck everything into you because you think you're right about things and you are never right anymore. So you have to.
We are the same. I swear.
That's so funny.
This is how I feel.
Here's what's funny to me is like that
is.
he's a Virgo because Virgos like are a little crazy, but you have to be a little crazy to do what
he's
you're doing.
definitely crazy.
Like it takes some crazy to be a genius. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Also, Virgos are like perfectionists.
Also, you can't call yourself a genius like Kanye and not have it verified by anybody and just call yourself a genius.
True.
It's like giving yourself a nickname. Like we had this guy in high school who's like, call me Bugsy. I'm like, no, you don't choose what we call you. You don't choose it. You can't be like, hey, I'm a genius and call me Bugsy. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, no.
Because you're not Bugsy and you're not a genius.
Right.
So please stop.
Very interesting.
I love this.
Yeah, but what's cool right now this past week is I have a guy staying at my house. Not like that, just friends. And his name is Jose Carlos Neves. And he is Carlos. He's from Portugal. He's at this point probably the most famous rhinoplasty, like nose surgeon in the world for what he does. And I'd seen his lecture. Like, I hate watching other people's lectures because they're all so stupid. But I like to watch to see if anything good comes of it.
I love it so.
And he did one, and I was like, holy shit, this guy gets it. And I have a tendency to agree with things that I would have thought of anyways, because it makes me feel good. But I'm like, he gets it. And I didn't really get to talk to him that conference. But then he kept hearing about me, and he came and watched mine. And he thought the same thing. He goes, fuck, this guy gets it. Then we hung out.
How old is he?
He's 49.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm still the youngest.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and this is what confuses everybody. They're like, how old are you? Because I'm giving these major master classes, and everyone's like, "How we're listening to a 40-year-old?" And so it's confusing for them. But at this point, I'm shitting on everybody, like who's in the realm or the world, and it's known. It's not like a maybe within the circles. They all talk about it, and there's all these other master. They call them masters. It's fucking weird. It's so weird. Because either way, this guy comes visiting me now, hangs out with me 3 days in the operating room to watch, and we're just chatting. And we just look at each other and we just understand. We get it. And we have the same problems, which is when we're teaching and we're giving these lectures that we think are going to like take surgeons 20 years in the future, we realize that only 2% of people understand what we're saying. Maybe 3, maybe 5. That's it.
Totally.
So it's nice to find those people though. And it helps you progress more.
It absolutely is.
I know. Okay, well, just so we don't have a 3-hour podcast, we're going to circle to the genius that is Dr. Talei and ask him some questions. We have like a lot of listeners that have asked a lot of questions about some specific treatments and they want your advice. So I have a little list here we're going to run through.
The back of your cards, they say, what is it?
Sorry, we're stoned?
Because my tequila glass is so empty. So I just want to make sure I'm not going to like disappoint you guys by being in the wrong mindset.
Okay, let's get more tequila.
For Ben, please.
Just saying. We're not working today.
Exactly.
You're not working today.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so you know how much I absolutely love the mellow mushroom. And it is actually getting ready to be their 50th anniversary. They're going to have special items on the menu. And for the food, there's going to be one of my favorites. It's called the Marley Pizza. And then also, they are going to have the Disco Peach Cocktail, which sounds so much fun. And on the 30th, their menu is also going to include art and merch. So make sure and check it out. My favorite pizza ever.
Mellow Mushroom has 163 locations nationwide.
It does?
Mostly in the Southeast, but it does say they have spots in Denver and Phoenix.
Wow.
So if you guys want to look up and see if there's a Mellow Mushroom near you, I'm telling you guys, it is bomb.com.
And this says that Mello's Pizza are stone baked.
Oh, how perfect for you.
We had no idea they were such stoners when we used to
really did.
I've always loved Mellow Mushroom. Now I love them even more.
Now we know why.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be.
Happy anniversary, Mellow Mushroom.
All right, drink your tequila. We got some questions.
Pinky's out.
Shoot it back. Pinky's up. Shoot it back. Okay, first one, and I'm actually curious about this because I don't know a whole lot about it. Opinions on threads.
Oh.
My question is, what are threads? What are they made of?
Okay.
Where do they go in your body when they dissolve?
There's 4 types of threading.
Okay.
One is to peel off a mustache. They're threads.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that. They do brows like
that.
Oh, okay.
That's one kind of threading.
All right.
The other is what you implant into the face, which is a suture.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the old school kind that they did before 2010, where they put these sutures in the face, Gian Papa stitch, all these different stitches to try to lift the face.
Okay.
None of them were successful. They fell out of favor in 2013. Everyone's like, thank God that was a moronic thing to do. What were we thinking? 2015, 2016, a genius comes and says, let me make these absorbable so they go away. So the problem that we create immediately isn't permanent and it forms collagen. Yeah. Right?
How?
Yeah, well, it does, but not the way they say.
Okay.
And they started putting these threads, long threads, short threads, implantable threads, all these different things with varying types of imagination. So a bunch of little tiny like kids in a school, like they're doing a little like house, building a house and playing reality, you know, and they're cute and they're fun and they're putting in threads in people's faces and like, it does this, it does that, it does this, it does that. It makes collagen, which none of it's accurate. And it really gained traction because of social media, because you can really display mediocrity on social media and make it look good.
Sure can.
This kind of is what happened. And the mediocre doctors do it, and the mediocre doctors will never understand it. They'll be offended by what I say because they'll never get it. Doesn't mean that what I say is not true. Doesn't mean what I say is against them. It's just I state reality. They don't live in reality. I understand the face definitively better than they do. There's no put me in a debate. Watch what happens. I definitively understand it better than they do. The function of the face, the aging of the face, internals, fillers, injectables, threads, surgery. I know all of it 1,000 times better than they do. But they don't know it, so everything is peachy fine, and they just put threads in the face with the hopes
Sure.
of...
If they're making money on it, they're like, why would I?
So how do you gauge your success? By financial success, by people coming back in, or by actually staring at every result and saying, is this perfect or not? Most people think that if patients keep coming back to them and are happy, that they're doing a good job.
Sure.
All it means is that you're a moron probably treating other morons. They don't, and this is reality. Like, you know,
It's true.
it's about good taste and bad taste.
I'm dead.
How many people in this world have good taste? You know, how many people in this world have common sense? Common sense. Common is for the common people. I don't want to be common.
No.
I want to have good sense. I want to have great sense, not common shit sense. Most people have common sense, common taste, common understanding. They drive commonly. You see how that goes in LA. They drive like common people. And that's why it keeps propagating. Now, what do threads actually do? They can, if done well, you put it in the mid-face and it stiffens up the area so it doesn't droop back and forth as much. I don't want that in my face, but fine.
Sure.
Totally fine to do. They put it in the neck. They think it's doing something. It does not. They put it in the brow. They think it lifts the brow. It does not. It stiffens it, but it's supposed to be mobile. So that's weird. And when I see people lecturing about it, I'm on stage. Like, you know what an eyesore is? An eyesore. They have a literal eyesore. They have a fucking bump coming out of their head on the stage, and their eyebrow is like this, and they're telling the whole audience, you should do this. And they're all going, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, it's great. Like, this is how it really goes. And I'm looking at it, and I can't keep quiet. So I'm like, you know you have a bump on your head.
I'm dead.
I'm like, so is that a thread brow lift? Yeah. Is that a successful result, you think? Yeah, it's okay. I'm like, is that okay? I'm not putting a hole in my patients' heads and having them walk around like this for a while. I go, if you want that, I guess you do that. So most people don't see the problems because they can't see the problems.
Or don't want to see it.
And they're the ones who think that it's great. And they'll keep saying it, even though someone's smarter than them. They think no one's smarter than them.
Oh, totally.
Someone's smarter than everybody. Someone's smarter than me.
For sure.
And when they come, I'll know it because I'm smart. I'll know someone's smarter. These guys are not smart. They don't know when someone's smarter. They're just like, oh, we're all equal. We're not all equal. Nobody's equal. We're very different. That's the world. And so they put in these threads with excuse of, I'm going to develop collagen under the skin. Now, how many, like, list some proteins in the body. Just go ahead and list some. Starting with collagen. You got collagen. You know that one.
Yeah.
List another one.
I don't know.
You're talking to a DJ. I don't know anything.
This is exactly what happens when you talk to doctors. They don't know.
No.
They think collagen forms the whole face. All right. That's like a toothpick forming a mansion. Like,
well, I feel like collagen's just a buzzword that
it is a buzzword.
Patients that come in are like, oh, collagen?
Stem cell.
I'll be younger?
Stem cell,
like, that's
collagen,
just where their head goes.
telomeres. 3 buzzwords that go on and everybody's like, I want on that train.
Right.
I want on that train, baby. Get me on that collagen train. And they think that if you put threads underneath the skin, you're going to form collagen, and collagen is automatically a good thing. Right? Not knowing, ask them again, how many types of collagen are there? If you had to guess, how many types of collagen? Most people say 4 or 5. It's 29 to 100. So there are that many types of collagen in different arrays, all this stuff. Either way, collagen is just the intro word.
Sure.
And so they don't look at it and they don't realize that they're forming scar tissue.
That's what I figured.
And when you tell them that, they're like, no, because that goes against my business model.
Yes.
Not because you're wrong scientifically, because they go against their finances.
Right.
So they're like, no,
Yeah.
It can't be scar tissue because scar tissue is bad. Collagen is good. I'm like, why'd you say those two things? I go, collagen is scar tissue. Scar tissue has collagen. Why are you saying one is one, the other is the other? I go, they're the same. So they don't get it. They deposit these things in the face, and it does have benefit if you know what it is. So let's say you know this, that it builds scar tissue volume, and you want volume. What are you going to do? You put it where you need volume, down into the cheek, deep. Let it sit there, grow some volume like Sculptra. Let's say you're a fucking clueless idiot, and you think it just forms collagen like the collagen you lost in your skin. What are you going to start doing? Putting it right under the skin. Now, everybody's fucked up. Everybody. You can't fix it. They're all scar tissue under the skin, changes the color. It turns what you call soft tissue to hard tissue. No longer soft tissue, it's hard tissue. Changes the color, the supple nature of it, the movement of it, the smiling movement. All this stuff changes. So it's an idiot thing. Now, are there threads that are good? Yeah, there's a couple. One guy, Greg Miller, Mueller, Mueller, but Miller. He created something called My Elevate, which is like a threaded lift, but no, it's a fancy one. And so he takes some threads, passes it through, manipulates the muscle, puts it up into the mastoid, and you can get this kind of non-invasive mini neck lift with it, and it's pretty dope. So that's the extent of what threads do, is that guy, Greg Miller. And then
are those threads, do they dissolve or are they more permanent?
Some do, some don't. And then the ones that they do for a Gian Papa stitch, they stay and they make you feel like you're choking forever. So it's better to have the non-permanent. And the ones that they put in the cheek, if they put it deep, no problems. Works like Sculptra. And this is what 5% of what people do with them. The other 95% is just pure stupidity. And it is what it is. People just get upset because it's their livelihood.
Sure.
I don't give a shit about surgeons' livelihood if they're doing bad things. Why would I care? I'm here to spread awareness of reality.
Right. Which is so good to know because like so many people so young are just starting to do all this stuff to their face.
Yeah.
Well, they think it's preventative because of the word collagen.
Oh,
right.
I know. Everybody's like, it's preventative. I'm like, I don't think so.
So they're going to look horrible and they get rocky. And this is like, there's beautiful people, example, like Lisa Rinna. Lisa Rinna, gorgeous face, sweetest fucking person in the world. But she had a couple permanent type things or non-permanent things she had that became permanent. And you can't do much about it once it happens. So I tell the younger people, there is not much you can do for prevention, except for living a good life, not traumatizing your face. Let your soft tissue stay soft. Don't do too much. Protect it. Just protect. And when it gets bad enough, you can fix it. But other people come and tell them form collagen, form collagen, form collagen, form collagen. And all they're doing is advancing their aging. It's the exact opposite. Throw fillers, fillers, fillers. And for them, they don't have a brain enough to understand. I didn't say no fillers. I said just take it easy on fillers. Small amounts, delicate. Botox, same thing. And you just do it tastefully. Now, this is a message that's going to go to dead ears. Most people aren't going to hear it, not going to understand it. And they're going to keep going back to their dysmorphic surgeons. Dysmorphic doctors are the number one reason for dysmorphia amongst patients. Number one. I didn't do a research study, but I will assert that it is the number one reason to have a dysmorphic patient is the dysmorphic doctor got them there.
Damn.
It's reality.
All right, you mentioned Sculptra.
Yeah.
Explain Sculptra for people that aren't familiar.
Sculptra is a suture material. It's by a company who makes really good products in general. It's a good product, and it is suture material that's broken down into a powder called polyalactic acid. And it's a little polymer chain that's like a little fiber. And when you inject it into the face, with sutures, they saw that you'd form some granulation around it, which is little tiny bumps of collagen. And it's not just collagen, but they ended up injecting it in patients who had lipodystrophy from HIV, where one side of the face just lost all the fat.
Oh, wow.
It happens in HIV. And they were able to put this material back in there, and it would incite volume formation because it sits there, pisses off your body, and your body tries to eat it and encapsulate it. It forms a ball of tissue called a granulation ball, granuloma. And so it fills all these granulomas in your face, little tiny balls, scar balls. Within them, of course, there's collagen. So they say this is collagen synthesis.
Sure.
It is, but the primary goal is make balls. Okay.
Which is scar tissue.
Yeah. I don't say, hey, come have my balls. There's collagen in them. Yeah. You just say collagen balls.
Sure.
It is what it is. So scar tissue. And it's a healthy scar tissue. There's bad scar tissue, there's good scar tissue, but they're all scar tissue, meaning they're firm. And it looks like fat. So you put that in the deep cheek. Now you've created something good. You put in a deep temple. Now you've created something good. Now you don't know if it's going to grow more or less, whatever. So you have to have an art to how you do it. The mistake people make is looking at it histologically, meaning they cut it, look at it under a microscope. They're like, oh my God, there's collagen in here. So they go put it next to the skin, thinking it's going to take the skin's collagen back to where it was. It doesn't touch the skin's collagen. They think it does. All it does is add more crazy shit collagen to the base of it.
I see.
Different type, different consistency, different color, nodularity, all these things. So
has this been around long enough to know if there's like bad side effects to it?
Absolutely, there's bad side effects to everything. Surgery,
yeah.
So the Sculptra, when done properly, is very low risk.
Really?
When is it done properly? 1 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
1 out of 10. 9 out of 10 people are applying it as a filler, applying it to make your skin healthier.
What I've heard of it.
That's all I've ever heard of it.
Is kind of like in place of filler, do Sculptra. Is like kind of the thing now.
It's a diffuse volumizer, but they also do it to make the skin healthier. It is absolutely not true. It does the opposite of that. It makes the skin dense and rigid, so it does not make the skin healthier.
Thank God I have not done this stuff.
Sculptra, but Sculptra's good if you know how to do it.
Is that something you do?
Yeah, I do Sculptra.
And you're confident about it?
But yeah. I put it in the deep cheek, deep temple, volumize people who are really gaunt and you can't fat graft them. That is what Sculptra is made for.
I see.
But 99% of its use is other stupid shit.
Right.
That's why you get the problems. That's why it starts to get a bad reputation. People just do it wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, because I always talk about when we did my under eye and remember we did upper and lower. Was that Sculptra?
No, that was a dot of filler. We used Restylane. And we undercorrected because it can carry water. So I put very little, even though it wasn't perfection, just to let it carry its own water instead of getting too puffy and then people look at your face and think you have something in there.
And do you think it's still in there?
It is still in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, great. That leads to another great question because like now, the hot topic is filler doesn't dissolve, it migrates in the body.
Sure.
What's the tea on that?
Few things. Filler, when people ask, does it last or not last? Does it last 5 years, 2 years, 1 year, 10 years? I say yes. Because the answer is yes to all of them. It could last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Parts of it can last. Parts of it can change. Become a different filler. Can it move? It can move. How can it move? It can move immediately like Juvederm. Juvederm is the worst filler you could ever have on your lips. And it can start migrating by crawling from its water retention and getting pushed from its water retention. Or like Restylane, which is a better filler. It can change quality over 10 years if it stays there and then become Juvederm-like, water retaining and start going higher in the skin. So they can migrate locally. They don't migrate distally into the rest of the body. In fact, most fillers go only within 1 to 2 millimeters of where they were injected just for muscle movement and pressure on the face. But you can have systemic effects from filler. And this is not something that's studied, fully understood. It's just common sense from common people that if you have anything foreign in your body and you start to react to it a little bit, your body feels like it has an allergy to something, even though it's not allergic to something. And what happens is your body goes under this kind of inflammatory response where you can get hives, you can get body aches, you can get all these weird things. Same thing that happens with breast implant illness. So it's not that you're directly allergic to a breast implant. It's just your body knows something's there.
Foreign. Yeah.
It sets something little off and your whole body becomes kind of that like tired and lethargic and all these things happen to it because your body feels like it's having an allergic response to something, even though it's not.
Interesting.
So all that can happen with filler. You can dissolve it, as long as you use hyaluronic acid filler. It's not dangerous to dissolve filler. The problem with dissolving filler is you don't know what's under there. So it's not what you expected. And then you actually go look on the inside and you're like, holy shit, it is spread full of hyaluronic acid filler beads.
So do you not know that until you put it in there? Like you don't know what's under there?
You don't know the extent because it could be 80% water or 40% water. The rest could be filler. You don't know.
Right.
Usually it's a lot of water. So you dissolve a little, all this water goes out.
Is dissolving filler risky in the sense of like you kind of don't know what's in there until you put it in there?
Yeah, it's not risky. It's just you got to prepare the patient realistically and them not be an idiot. If a patient's smart and intelligent and you tell them, listen, you've had filler in there for 10 years. They're not the one who keeps saying, I don't have filler. I don't have filler. And you're looking at their face. You're like, I see the filler in your face as clear as the sky is blue. And they say, I don't have filler. I don't have filler. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, all right, we're done. Or they say, oh my God, is it possible I still have filler there? I felt weird. And then you're like, oh, we're on the same level. Start to fall in love.
Okay.
I love you.
Okay.
I'll do whatever you want.
Okay.
And then you dissolve it, but you prepare them.
What are the alternatives to filler if not Sculptra? Is there any?
Yeah, you have, so if somebody needs volume in their face, volume deficits come from volume loss, which could be water, could be fat, could be a million protein elements. Or it comes from drooping, where you start to see shadows and you start to have deficits because the volume was here, now it's down here, and if you feel here, it's hollow. So your options become lifting, tightening with radiofrequency, volumizing. Volumizing, you want to use either hyaluronic acid fillers or fat. You can use either one. They're both fine. What you don't want to use in most of the soft tissues is Radi-S, which is calcium hydroxyapatite. It makes it rocky. Or too much Sculptra because it's going to make it rocky. So hyaluronic has a less inflammatory, not no inflammatory reaction, less inflammatory. So you want to use little bits of that. But when you're volumizing a face without lifting it, you want to go easy because everything's low. And what happens if you volumize everything low? You've exaggerated low. No matter what you do, no matter what kind of magician you think you are, you're putting too much volume in a low face. So if you can lift it, then volumize, you're more delicate. If you can tighten it, then volumize, you're more delicate.
Okay.
If they're droopy still and you're trying to volumize, go easy.
So you mentioned radiofrequency. Microneedling with the, is that?
Different kinds.
Different kinds.
There's transcutaneous radiofrequency. Radiofrequency means you take energy from the wall, you put it into a machine transmits it to your face in a safe way that'll vibrate in a certain way, and it'll break apart things or melt things with the heat that goes through.
I was gonna say, so that it's always heat, right? The radiofrequency
it's
always
heat-based.
was
Yeah,
heat.
that's how we measure it. You can measure it by other things, but we don't understand those. We only understand heat.
Gotcha.
But there's actual radio waves you can measure. There's currents. There's impedance to currents, which is like the resistance to current. All those things actually affect the proteins, but we don't know how to measure those. So what we say is we measure the heat. Heat gets a certain amount. We know it breaks the collagen, and the collagen, elastin, hyaluronic acid can reform. So you have the ones that put the needles in the skin, like this, like that, probe, million different kinds. They're one of the most controllable types of heat treatments ever in history. However, they are also one of the most messed up because people don't know what the word optimal means. So if I told you I have something optimal, would you try to make optimal better? Or would you be like, wait, optimal means something?
Yeah.
Optimal means it's the best.
Yeah.
So
no, I would want better.
You'd try to go for better, but better doesn't exist. Optimal is optimal.
Right.
So people try to go for better and they ruin your face.
Interesting. Because to me, because I've done the RF microneedling and all that, and the heat scares me. Like, because I like in my brain, which I know nothing, like I said, but heat is bad for my skin.
Yeah.
So that's where I get like nervous about it. I'm like, it's supposed to be good, but like to me, heat is bad.
It's profound. It's what's the other one?
Well, those are microneedling radiofrequency. So microneedling by itself, which is just needles that go into the skin and break it apart, does nothing bad. Stimulates your skin for a couple months. Microneedling with radiofrequency is what you're talking about, and you think heat is bad. This is a smart understanding of heat. Heat is bad. And when we look at like heat damage or what it's done to your face with sun damage, you kind of understand it. And what you want to do is wait until the damage is so bad that you need some other kind of damage to come restore your damage. You don't want to take a healthy face that's purely healthy and go damage it with heat. You are correct. See, you get it. Doctors don't get it.
Yeah. Well,
Brandy's a doctor.
I've ridden horses my whole life out in the heat. And so I understand like what the heat has done to my skin, right? Like not just my face, my arms, like all that. Like I get that connotation with it. And I don't know, to me, like it makes so much more sense that like cold is just better. Cold, everything's better, right? They say wash your face with cold water, shower with cold water. The heat is like in my head, heat is more damaging. It's like always a negative.
High heat. Little heat, not a big deal, but high heat,
High heat, sure.
Well, the way it works is the radio frequency has different ways of depositing energy and different depths. Morpheus and profound. Profound's by far the best that's ever existed and the lowest risk that's ever existed of any heat treatment ever made.
Wow.
And nobody gets that because they don't understand the device.
Sure.
It's a bipolar radio frequency, the only true bipolar radio frequency.
You good? She's freaking me.
Let her go. Let her go.
She's freaking me.
She's good now. So profound will tighten the skin better than anything.
That's what I want.
One level down, you got Matrix and Morpheus. Morpheus and Matrix are the best two for skin pores, superficial skin quality, eye bags, that kind of stuff. Matrix being a little better than Morpheus, but both very good. But you can damage stuff because they can go to 4 millimeters of depth, which means you can melt fat. If you start melting fat in the face or liposuctioning fat in the face, you age. You age in many ways. You get firm, you get dense, all this shit.
Makes sense.
So not a great idea to melt fat in the face. You want to tighten the skin only, which is why Profound is the strongest. Soft Wave is one that comes with a probe, no needles, and passes energy to the same depth. Gets a little bit of what Profound can without like pissing off your face. So it's a decent one. But Profound is by far number one for true skin envelope tight.
Wow.
Nothing can compare. Not now.
And is Profound like, because what I'm getting from what you're saying is like less is more. Like, don't do, like, for somebody in their 20s to be doing things like this for preventative and whatever is kind of like not the play, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
So for you, like for someone that wants to come in and do Profound, like who's the right candidate for that?
Some patients in their 20s who have like acne issues and those kind of things.
Okay.
It's usually above 25.
Acne scarring or actual acne?
Yeah, rolling acne scars. Actual acne you can calm it down with AviClear and medications. But the skin type where it's just hyperlax, has acne, Profound is heaven for them. Profound with fat, which is PHAT, platelet hybridized adipose therapy, which is nanofat and PRP, heaven. Wrinkles, depression with Profound and fat, amazing. If you get to your 30s and you're like, oh, my neck starting to come down, a little droopy, you do Profound, tightens it up 30%, something like that. It's pretty nice. It's not magic, but it's nice and it does better than anything else and it's safe. And Profound, you do it once, repeat it once, 5 years later.
Oh.
What you don't want to do is go do heat treatments as maintenance, lasers as maintenance. That's stupidity.
I have never done a laser.
Me neither.
Yeah. The less you do, the better. You do them when you need them. So when your skin is like, oh, these pores are bothering me, go do a radiofrequency. You're like, oh, this pigmentation from the sun is so bad.
Which is what I have a little
Go
bit.
get a cream, calm it down, get a laser, clean it off.
Okay.
That's how you do these things right. Chemical peels. Beautiful.
I was going to say peel.
Yeah.
Peels are great.
Like, you know, the Reva peel?
Yeah. And you can use Reva peels. You can use light peels, deep peels. You can use, there's a very light Cosmoland peel that works really, really well. There's a girl named Trisha Dykes in LA that we send everybody to who wants those kind of peels. There's lots of peels are nice. And if you have non-reactive skin, it works out well.
Interesting.
It sounds painful.
So much.
No, it's not too bad.
No,
it depends
the
how you
peel
treat it.
Yeah, it's
No.
just downtime, right? There's like some downtime.
For most of them, you're like down for a week.
A week, yeah. That's what I figured.
Sometimes. more.
CO2 laser.
Yeah.
I feel like this one's becoming super like trendy and popular.
Yeah, so CO2 is a carbon dioxide laser. It's far infrared, which means you're in your 10,000 nanometer wavelength, which means you can't see it. And it goes big, long waves. And because they're big, long waves, they're able to sneak through your skin cells, through them, and get to the deeper layers. So CO2 is cool because it's ablative. It gets hit by water and explodes, and then can still go down and cause heat injury deep to it. So CO2 is really good for somebody who has pigmentation, superficial lines, and a little bit of deeper wrinkling. And CO2 can help do that. Now, they modified them to help on lighter skin types or this and that, but it's really just not good for dark skin types. Most of these lasers that we're talking about, it's a white person thing. So you got to stick to doing it on white people. Fitzpatrick 1 and 2, you're pretty safe on. Once you get to 3, 4, which is where I live, you don't want to be doing CO2 laser. Fraxel is one down from that in terms of how much it damages. So Fraxel and dual Fraxel become more versatile. Dual Fraxel is one of the most amazing lasers for resurfacing of Fitzpatrick 1, 2, 3. And it's fantastic because it burns off the superficial skin, more superficial than CO2, because it's in the 2000 nanometer wavelength, not 10,000. And it goes deeper without burning the skin in the 1400 wavelength, which just sneaks in there and heats it. So it's pretty cool.
Okay. Tish. She is killing me.
Because I'm taking all this in, like, what,
I know, it's
what
a
do
lot.
I need to do?
It's a lot. And I think
got
the
you.
thing that's
Yeah, I
probably
know.
overwhelming, at least to somebody like me, is it's like there's so many options right now. Whereas like before
know.
there wasn't. And not only are there so many options, they're so accessible, like to a fault, right? That you can go get this done anywhere, which is scary.
Yeah.
But I think that that's probably like for somebody in their 20s and 30s that's thinking like, well, now I have all these accessible options of things that can keep me younger longer. What do I do? You know?
Yeah, the
And then I
problem is
think
everyone
people
thinks,
just start doing without a plan and without like a strategy.
or guided by the wrong people, because
Sure.
they think that everything is good.
I
They
know.
think Mo is Mo better.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
not Mo
and you
better.
open TikTok and you just immediately see these videos. Like I've seen the ones of the CO2 laser where it looks like it's just immediately tightening the skin, and it gives the illusion of that instant gratification.
Oh, can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
So that is misleading.
Well, I figured.
everybody
It's too good to
does
be
it.
true.
Yeah, when you see those things
Mhm.
and you see the shrinkage right away, and this is even in surgery, you're doing surgery, facelift surgery, he's thinking he's tightening this mass because he's seeing water evaporating out of the tissue because he just burned it, and then it shrinks. But it doesn't stay like
Doesn't
that
stay
in
like
this
that.
way. What it does is you just lost volume in that patient's face.
Mm.
You moron.
Yep.
The patient that you were just trying to lift and volumize, you just melted out their volume.
This is so
Now,
scary.
when it comes
It
to
is
these
scary.
things with the CO2, nothing bad's happening. But that contracture that you get is from water evaporating and from the elements, being collagen and other proteins, contracting because of the heat.
Interesting.
But they relax after. They don't stay like that.
Mm.
Some of it can stay, but most of it relaxes. So those are misleading, but they're cool to watch because you're like, yeah, it tightened.
Of course.
But then you look at the patient 2 months later, like, why didn't I get a result?
Ah,
Was it real? Wasn't it real?
Exactly.
very
So
interesting.
there are other things that are causing it, not that immediate tightening. And most surgeons, doctors, practitioners don't know how to use lasers properly. I did a laser fellowship. I was doing vascular birthmarks and lasers by the guy who has like 75 patents on lasers. So I became a physicist and I got to learn the wavelengths and really what it is. Most surgeons have no clue and they only know a few questions on their board exam. So they think every laser is good, every radio frequency is good, all vitamins are good. Not thinking if I give you too much vitamin C, you die. Right? Like you can overdose on vitamins.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
I do know
crazy.
that.
Yeah, they're not uniformly healthy.
Okay, well, sticking with the like preventative topic. If for somebody younger, 20s, 30s, what would be your like top 3 skin tips to stay looking younger longer?
So the
Doesn't have to be
prevention,
surgery,
yeah.
like just anything.
The best prevention overall, everyone says, is sunblock. We know that.
Sure.
Okay, for white people. Looking at
Yes.
you
I wear a lot of sunblock.
Yeah,
Don't
she
look at
is
me.
good about it.
because black don't crack,
Right.
Asian don't raisin,
Mm-hmm.
Persian nobody knows. So
Nobody knows.
so sunblock becomes like the number one thing, and then what do you do plus sunblock is maybe oils depending on your skin type. Oils, we have one called Aura Silk. We have one at Cupid now that's going to be for Cupid. It's going to be dope. Oils are nice. They're drying oils. They keep you moist. Moisture also is a sunblock. Any kind of moisture gives you a little bit of sun protection. Then you say, okay, what can I do over time? Microneedling with PRP, platelet-rich plasma, very safe and does stimulate your skin for a while. Does not promote to aging. So it actually just plumps you up for a few months, looks good, but doesn't damage you. The radio frequency and laser stuff you do not want to do or touch or even come close to. Because what it will do is incite a cascade of shit in your face that you will have to fix forever, just like a terrible sunburn that you had while on your period, while going menopausal, while having a kid.
Wow.
It's not real scenario, but I'm
Sure.
saying
Yes.
hormonal fluctuations in a sunburn, you have developed melasma that will be with you for life. So these are things you got to be wary of. Am I hormonal right now? And am I in a fluctuation? And am I going to do a laser? It might make you worse. And they come back with a vengeance 6 months later after you laser them again. So the idea is preserve as much as possible because there's nothing better than a baby's skin, right? You ever touch the baby? They're so soft, especially Asian babies. They're so soft. And what we want to do is preserve that within ourselves as long as possible. And then only damage to regress to fix if we have to. So microneedling PRP, totally fine. Creams. This is where you really get the biggest improvements. The vitamin A compounds, which are retin A, which you've heard of, or Definage, which is for a cream that tries to redirect the defensins in the hair follicles to make skin. These are things that can actually make your skin quality look better by turning over your skin faster or by thickening under the skin. So they both work nicely. And you can do ceramides, vitamin C serums, B, all those kind of things. They act as like a little bit of peels. So you do gentle peels. Peels are you need an acid, and the easiest of all these is there's mandelic acid, there's glycolic acid, and there's the general realm of alpha hydroxy acids, which is AHA as we call them, and that's glycolics and mandelics and all that. And you can use those even in a simple Eucerin cream. Eucerin creams, the light blue bottle, that's intensive repair, that's an alpha hydroxy acid. So if you have keratitis pilari, where you have those bumpy arms behind your head, or you start getting clogged pores all the time, you need to be using that to open you up, plus Retin A, which will also clear it up. So those are your mainstays for doing that. Little oils,
So a good skincare regimen. Basically, is
that's why I have at Cupid, I have a whole.
So tell us about
Cupid.
Cupid just opened.
Yeah, Cupid Lips, which you guys were both invited to.
I wasn't here. I don't live here.
We were invited. So Cupid Lips is a location that I started for the sake of, well, one, because it's a game for me to make somewhere new that no one's ever done.
Sure. Yes. Love that.
But the other is for quality control, because I see all these laser aways and different companies, which, you go to one, it might be great. You go to the other one, you don't know. And this is what happens with Lifestyle Lift before and hair restoration clinics and all this. And I wanted to make something for myself that was very, very, very reproducible, where when you go in there, you have quality control. Yes. Everybody's trained by me. Everybody does what I do. They have my general insight and understanding. And we focus on lips. It's called Cupid Lips. So you walk into the store, and the front of it is retail. It's like the best retail of the best products. And we're building them up. They're all relatively green. When you look at the compounds, because you don't need toxic shit in the lips. It's not that toxic is going to end your life. It's just you don't need it. There's so many good products for the lips that are humidifiers. They are peels. They are plumpers that you can do in a natural way. Why would you go throw in unnatural stuff? You just don't need to. Not that they're bad. So we have all these products that you really can't get anywhere else. It could be from France, could be from Guatemala. We have one. It could be LA-based brands, which we love, and we're putting those up. So we're not like a lipstick store, but we have everything from lip gloss, lip plumper, lip scrub, lip peel, all these different lip masks, all these just for lips. And when you walk in, you're like, oh shit. You sit down, there's 3 menus. One menu is for skincare. We do all the skincare because we're very high end on skincare. Okay. With all these radiofrequency, nanofat PRP being the fat treatment, deflated lips, all this stuff. We have skincare for everything pretty much. The basic Botox fillers, but at a high level. It's not one of those low level places that hire a nurse. It's my nurse practitioners that operate at my level, which is you're getting someone high end, better than most doctors out there for sure. Then we have another menu. Menu number 2 is the lip menu. It says Cupid Lift, which is the surgery we do to shorten the lip. There's lip reset, which is all those ugly overfilled lips. We reset them. There is Diamond Glow Lip, which is like a red carpet. We just make them soft, plush, and kissable. Real nice.
Diamond Glow, like the facial, like the
Diamond Glow facial. We do it on the lip with 2 different serums.
So it's the same thing.
Yeah,
the same machine.
And it makes your
I love the Diamond Glow.
And it's so good for the lip when you do it. And then we give you a little oil after.
Nice.
And we have the fat lips, which is for like the old white lady lip that gets depressed, has a mustache line there from being dark, all the wrinkles, the lipstick bleed lines. We take nano fat with PRP. We make the fat treatment out of it, inject it as a stem cell, laser on top of it, and you get a big improvement from that.
And so you just make an appointment and you come in and do that there.
Yeah, you do it all there. And there's a third menu. The third menu is our sushi menu. We developed 3 rolls, 2 sliders at the sushi place next door called Sushiya. Sushiya is where old school Hollywood, everyone used to go. It's really good sushi, and I cook. And I have my own cooking page, Ben Tallei's Kitchen thing. And I made 3 rolls. I made the Love Me roll, the Kiss Me roll, and the Lick Me roll.
So cute. I love that.
So they're kiss-based.
I love it.
And then we have Kobe Wagyu sliders that you put torched brie and crispy onion. It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I love it.
But those are our 3 menus in Cupid.
So cool.
So we're going to have also a Cupid Compendium, which is a video library to teach people. We have a Cupid Calculator, which is an app where you can see what a lip lift looks like. We have another Cupid we're going to open up probably Miami, Newport. So quality control, reproducibility. That'd be pretty awesome.
That's amazing.
Wow.
No, that was the night that I couldn't go because the paparazzi were chasing me.
I know.
Yeah, so the opening was 1,200 people. It was like the most beautiful girls you'll ever see. But it was,
I'm sure.
It was incredible. There was a line 2 blocks down. I didn't want a line, but there was a line 2 blocks down. Nobody goes to office openings. Like, do you ever go to like my friend's gallery opening? Or nobody goes. I had 2,000 plus people RSVP to the point where I couldn't respond to the other 1,000. Thank God only 1,200 showed up. But there was a line down the block. Because you come in and the space is beautiful. Everyone walks in, they're like, holy shit, what is this place? It's gorgeous. And when you walk in, you just look around for a while, and then you kind of meander downstairs out into a party tent that's like for a wedding. and
Oh,
we were going all night long. It was pretty crazy.
I bet it was insane.
Yeah. Well, if I do something, it's gotta
insane.
be
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely.
Wow, amazing.
I was going to ask him something. I can't remember what it was.
Well, think about it well, because the stoners have our listeners are called stoners.
Yeah.
The stoners have a couple questions for Ben, and some we actually naturally just already answered, so
Okay.
I'll skip those. But there's just a couple that I feel like we're good. One stoner called in, Billy actually said, "I want the BBL facial laser to fix scars and spider veins. How do I get my insurance to cover this? Is that
Well,
possible?"
Insurance doesn't usually cover it
That's what I
unless
would've
it's a
thought.
vascular birthmark. So if you go through and it's growing or it's on your face and it's a physical deformity, they will cover it.
Just on your face?
Usually face, yeah. But on the body, if it's growing, then they'll treat it as a vascular tumor and then they have to do it. So if it's anything
Jesus.
that's growing and they documented it, they should cover it. Usually because they don't understand these things, they have to go through a peer-to-peer review, which means one doctor has to talk to another doctor. Alternatively, they just go somewhere that doesn't charge much, and you want a dual red-blue laser for those things.
Interesting. Okay. Kaylee wanted to know, what is the most challenging procedure for you to do?
Everything's kind of easy for me now.
And you're gonna say that.
It's it's a game now. I've done over 3,000 of everything I do, of every procedure, so it's kind of just a game.
What's your favorite procedure to do?
The face. Well, I'm in a world of aging face. So what makes me cooler than like a rhino surgeon in general, which I'm a nose surgeon too, but cooler than just a nose surgeon in the face world, is that I can change your whole face. I can just take it all back, refresh it, and take you to places that you never thought you could get to.
That's where I'm getting ready to go.
Mom, you do not need to do shit.
No, but mainly restoring things that you had forgotten about. That's what I.
Yep.
So that's what like you like to do the most.
I like to. So nobody understands my results. Like they don't understand why I'm better. Even surgeons don't get why I'm better.
I do, because when I look at your, but I'm serious. I can just see it's a completely different thing from anything I've ever seen.
Yeah, but what does it make you feel is the question.
It makes me feel excited for my freaking life.
Because she's a Taurus and she's vain as fuck.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. I've been on the Ben Talei train for a long ass time.
You have.
And
Okay.
even before we knew each other.
Last question.
I'm like,
question, and then we
people,
can do whatever you
this
want.
is the only person.
Last question.
We're also family now.
True.
Jess wants to know, can your nose job move years after you've had it done? I'm starting to have sinus issues again and headaches. I'm assuming she's had a nose job.
Yeah, so absolutely it can change over years, and it changes over the first 3 years the most. So any nose job changes over 3 years to 95% of its position. It can kind of keep going after that. If you have poor cartilage structure, it'll probably change more. As you age though, let's say 20 years goes by and it hadn't changed, then all of a sudden it starts dropping. That's because just like the face skin gets thinner, the nose skin gets thinner. And if it's thinner, it's not as strong, and it's a 3-dimensional floating structure. It collapses little tiny bits here and there, and your breathing gets harder. Alternatively, maybe she moved to a new house using different detergent, has a different dog, she has allergies, needs to clean out her nose. That's the first thing you try. So you do nasal rinses with Neilmed, rinse it out, put some ointment in there, maybe a steroid spray like Nasacort, which is very safe. See if it gets better over about 2-3 weeks. If so, that's your problem, is that it's physiological, not anatomic.
Makes sense.
Can I ask one quick question?
Okay.
How much do you love red light therapy?
I did research on it in med school.
And?
Red light is not what most people think or understand is the issue. So the research that we did in medical school is for infrared light. Visible spectrum of light, you're between 300 to 700 or 800 nanometers.
Okay.
When you get above that, you're in infrared. So 900 nanometers, 1,000 nanometers and up. Those nanometers, I told you before, I said bigger wavelengths can go deeper in the skin.
And is that what infrared and red, like what's the like, is infrared what you can't see?
Red is this, like red is that.
Sure.
So you're seeing a reflection
the
of red.
you can't see it.
Infrared, you can't see it.
That's what I thought.
Even though the diodes, you're seeing them because they're not truly infrared. Infrared, you can't see.
That's what I thought.
And it passes energy deeper than the other wavelengths can go. That's the benefit of it. It can penetrate the skin, whereas other ones go more superficial. The more you go towards blue, the more superficial. The more you go towards red, the deeper it goes. So red light can get deeper than blue. Infrared can get deeper than red. And what you do with it is you touch a probe to the skin on a rat who had a stroke, and the infrared light will make the rat brain stroke heal faster. You have somebody with chronic back pain. You touch the infrared to their back. You hold it there for half an hour to 30 minutes or 60 minutes. A few times a week, their chronic back pain gets better. You have somebody with anxiety. You have them lay down in a bed that has infrared lights and their body's touching the infrared lights. It passes energy into their skin. For some reason, lowers their anxiety and blood pressure. We don't know why.
Wow.
There's theories why. However, infrared overall is a pretty magical thing, but most of the stuff you see out there is fake. Red, blue, green, antibacterial, anti-acne.
Yeah.
Yeah, show me one fucking study that shows any improvement. I have not seen it. However,
Oh, what about red light therapy for wrinkles?
it does not do that. So absolutely does not improve wrinkles. However, infrared on skin, when you have the panels and you're touching it close to the face, even if it's close to infrared, you can put energy in there and it makes the skin glow for about a week, which makes wrinkles look better for
Does
about
it help
a week.
hair
Got
growth
it.
at all?
It can.
Can.
Same story. Has to be touching. Good company like Lightstim. Lightstim has probably the better ones. You can keep it on there and you hear nice stories from it. There's laser versions of it, which they call them lasers. They're not lasers because they're not physicists, but they tend to work as well. So there are a couple cool light treatments for scalp hair. The best for scalp hair of anything is the fat hair treatment. That's the nanofat PRP microneedling. It's amazing.
Ouch.
Very much, yeah.
I know.
It's really painful.
It hurts.
I
I'm
haven't
sure.
done it, but a friend of mine said it was just the most painful thing ever.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
Ugh. Okay, what are we doing?
Okay, so we have this little game.
Yeah.
Called Truth or Toke.
Yeah.
It is what it sounds like. You either answer the question and tell the truth,
Or you take a shot.
you take a shot,
I
or
can
you
do a
smoke
shot.
some weed,
Okay.
or you can answer it and take a shot and
Yeah.
smoke some weed.
All right,
Whatever
where's the
you
tequila?
want.
Here's
The rules are loose.
I guess I'm just staying over.
Yeah.
Okay, first question. In your opinion, what is the worst plastic job you've seen on a celebrity?
Oh, like from a surgeon?
Yeah, like what celebrity is just like the worst plastic surgery job you've ever seen?
And you can drink if you don't want to answer.
Oh, God.
You don't have to like
Well, no,
say who
the
did
obvious. I have so many I want to talk about, and I know
Please do.
and I know the surgeons who did it. No, the worst by far. At this, other than Catherine Wildenstein, who like did it to herself.
it.
I don't know who that is.
Catwoman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have a bunch of just terrible ones. Like there's like Lady Gaga's fillers offend me.
Wow.
Then there's like, I won't even go into all of them. Madonna is obviously the worst one because she got double fat injected, double facelifted. The third facelift made it better, but you didn't need to, like you see Cher's plastic surgery and Cher's is obvious. It's not obvious.
No.
Like it's obvious plastic
very.
surgery, but it's like, you know what? She looks good.
Exactly.
I will. Now I would never do that. I would have made a better Cher with even less noticeable, right? I didn't need to sacrifice the fakeness, but she looks beautiful, I think.
She looks great.
She's a relatively good one.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that question.
Okay, next question. What's a plastic surgery trend you hope becomes not trendy?
I mean, making people look stupid. It's the craziest thing at this point that I hate is the Spider-Man thread lifts for the brow. So they or the fox eyes or those cat eyes.
See, I didn't even know that was real.
I think it makes them look like aliens.
I kind of like it.
You know?
Yeah.
She does like it, I think.
Listen,
Okay, you hate that more than like the crazy lips?
People get turned on by anime pornography.
It's
not impossible to get turned on by an alien.
I like, and I'm not dogging because I think she is just so stunning. Is Bella? I've known her since she was a little girl.
Hadid. Yeah.
Do you think that is that threads or something?
Here's my assessment on it.
Uh-huh.
Because I know their faces and I've seen them 1,000 times on magazines and whatever they are. Initially, when everyone thought that they had thread lifts and brow lifts, they hadn't. They were just shaving the side of their brow and then drawing it.
Got
it.
it.
You could see it in the photo.
Yeah.
That's a pretty definitive. Can't sue me for that. So that's pretty definitive. Everyone's like libel.
Oh, I know.
So defamation. No, that's pretty definitive. Past that, I don't know for sure. I think they went and got a brow lift after that. And I did see a couple of them and a couple other people in their group. And a few of them I gotten in. They all look like they're staring at you like this when they're like looking at you. And you're like, are you okay? Yeah, I'm great.
And is a thread do a brow lift?
No. So a thread can temporarily do that in a weird way.
Oh, so
and then
what
it goes
is
away.
a brow lift? Because I see
brow
that.
lift, you got to release from an incision over here.
Lord.
There's different ways to do it, but you release the scalp and you just take it back to where it was. If you do that, brow lifts make you look calmer, relaxed, and more amazing. If you take it this way, surprised idiot. Surprised idiot, sexy. George Clooney.
So then you pull it.
You
Pull.
move it, no pulling.
Oh,
How do you do that? You got to release it. It's the whole thing.
I
Interesting.
want that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Enough from you.
It's
I
like
can-
checklist.
I'm like,
she
no,
doesn't need shit.
That
She's so annoying.
And the lower, and I'm good.
Nothing's on the menu for
But-
you yet.
No,
Oh
but
my
I like
You can have the
that.
Cupid menu
I love
for
this.
sushi.
There you go.
I think that would be good for me.
Okay, mother, pipe it.
No, you don't mess with those.
Let's
either.
wrap it up before we run
Okay,
out
okay,
of
I'm gonna-
storage here.
I know.
This
I
was
said
fun.
a saying like this once, and I go, trying to change yourself would be like slapping God in the face.
Literally, like
Ben Talei.
it's just
It
like
would.
it's
I love
mind
my
blowing to
accent
me.
saying your last
People,
Talei.
Mom, you just don't understand. Like,
Okay,
you are
don't-
Benjamin Button, and it's
I'm
just so
feeling
rare.
old.
Have you seen pictures of her from like her 30s and 40s? Like,
No, Chish is hot.
has she not
we know
aged
this,
in
yeah.
reverse?
Oh, you've gotten better over it. With
like,
age,
I don't
100%. Yeah.
understand it. I
Yeah.
don't understand
Okay.
it. It's
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna. This is not even a joke. Between Dom and truly Ben, I feel like since I've known you and Dom that I've been the most confident I've ever been. Honestly, like you just always were so good to me and so sweet. And what I love is how honest you are, like about things that you should do and things that you shouldn't do. And like you would tell, like you said, title bomb, like you're so good about also telling people to go to different people and
I know who's good out there.
exactly.
I know who's good. I know who can do what I don't do, which is
Mhm.
why patients can come to me for something. I don't say like, no, don't do it. I just say, I'm not the best at it.
Exactly.
Go to that guy. Sometimes I try to scare him to death.
Do people know, like, do they know they look crazy?
Some do, some don't.
I
Okay.
feel like the majority don't.
I don't
Majority
too.
don't.
Yeah.
Just like doctors, you see doctor freaks.
Yeah.
Because if you walk into somebody who look like a freak,
Well,
you gonna look like a freak.
100%.
This is how it goes. You know, that's their view on the world. That's their view that they will impart onto you.
Mhm.
It's like the scorpion that is gonna ask the frog, "Can you please take me across this river?" And the frog goes, "No, Mr. Scorpion, you're gonna sting me." No. Why would I sting you? Because I need you. I need you, Froggy. Take me
Right,
across
right,
the river. Frog takes him across. Scorpion stings him. Why'd you do that to me? I'm a scorpion. What do you think I
Exactly.
do? It's in my nature.
I
So
mean, it's crazy.
don't expect them to do anything different than they always do.
Yeah.
Was that a long-winded version? of
That's
saying that?
It was,
actually,
but-
that is just such a good lesson for life.
little
Yeah.
life lesson there.
Yes.
Wow.
We've learned from this. People are stupid.
People are stupid. Here's what we
I
learned
did-
from this. Like, you guys, if you want to do shit, do your research, go to the right person. You get what you pay for. Like, that's what I tell people. People ask me about even just like Botox and shit. I'm like, don't go to med spa. Just don't go to med spa.
Oh, that was the one last thing. What about Botox?
Love Botox.
Okay, great.
me too.
Yeah. Botox, you can use it for sweat. You can use it for saliva. You can use it for wrinkles and muscle movement and all these things. And it works great. Most people are not masters of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot you can do with low risk. So it's great. And Dysport's my favorite of the brands.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah, Dysport, if you concentrate it properly, it works better than all the others. Kicks in faster, lasts longer.
It does kick in faster, I
Yeah,
guess.
But if you don't
Interesting.
dilute it properly, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do.
Fascinating.
It always just scares me.
What's
because-
the new one?
There's Zeoman and
That one.
Jeuveau for the US. Other countries have like 50,000 because we're corrupt, and other countries are less corrupt in their medical system, which
I
is why
see.
our insurance costs more, which is
Right.
why our pharma is more
Don't get me started on the.
corrupt as fuck.
It's
FDA,
so
baby.
bad.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't fuck with FDA. Love you. Love,
Seriously.
love FDA. They called my
Um,
office. Oh
All
my
right,
God.
well, let's wrap it up for the stoners.
Uh-huh.
And then we can continue your little chat with Ben. But Ben, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks,
We
Ben.
love ya.
Cheers, stoners.
Cheers, stoners.
Cheers, stoners.
Hope we answered questions.
I know.
Good questions.
We helped nobody.
We help nobody.
I know.
Oh, well, bye.
Bye.
This podcast has been brought to you by Podcast Nation and Hopetown Entertainment.